You're watching Moments with Jill Walker, and today I am interviewing Anthony, and he has a testimony to tell us how he became born again. He was also with the Tribute Quartet as the bass singer.
I tried to be, yes.
Have you always had a low voice?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not always. I'm low enough. My voice isn't most of the time.
And interestingly enough, he's also a law officer, which I highly respect. And he told me just a few minutes ago he was in law enforcement before he was even a singer, right? So tell me real quick, for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, how you became born again, what led you into gospel music, which I dearly love, and then how you also are an officer.
Okay. So I was saved when I was 12 years old, and at a little country church that most everybody there was related to everybody else, and so as most people do, that I was saved I was 12 years old. I got to be there. My dad, before he passed away, was there. So that was all. It seems like a lifetime ago. And then law enforcement, obviously, that happened when I was 19 years old.
Wow. Did you always want, when you were a little boy, did you want to grow up and be a policeman?
I did. So gospel music was not something that I was familiar with at all. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as gospel music until my sophomore year of high school. And I was flipping through the channels and found a Gaither video. Gold City was singing. So that was Jay and Jonathan and Mark and Tim. And I was amazed. And I thought, oh my gosh, these people are singing. What is this? And so I started diving into gospel music as a whole. But I grew up Church of Christ. And so there was
they didn't have instruments
no musical instruments. So instead of coming from Gold City to present day, or at that time, I went backwards because they only had a piano and 4 voices. So I went back to the Statesmen and to the Blackwoods and to early on kind of gospel music. And so and then I sort of worked my way up to the future. And then I found out that there was actually, you could make a meager living singing. And so I was amazed.
Did you know you could sing? Did you?
In the church that I grew up in, you had to sing. Otherwise, they'd kick you out. So
you were the instrument. The voices were.
Absolutely.
Right.
So all the four parts, the harmony and all that sort of thing was something that I was very familiar with, obviously, from all those years in church. And then somewhere around 2002 or 3, 2003, I think, I joined my first group.
Did you audition?
Of course I did.
Okay.
In fact, here's a fun fact. My very first professional group that I ever tried out for was the Dixie Echoes.
Okay, I've heard of them.
I tried out in the men's room, which was about the size of this half of this room, the men's room of the Yorkville Community Center, and we were standing there, and the acoustics were good. We could hear each other, and people would walk in, and they would be like, and we'd say, oh, come on in. And so they would walk through and do their business and walk back through, and we just stood there and sang to them. Randy Shellnut told me, he said, you're very nervous. Obviously, I'd never performed. I really thought I was going to go to hell for singing with musical instruments,
Wow.
So and this was a lot on me as a young man. So long story short, he told me, he encouraged me, and he said, listen, if you don't stop singing and you want to do this business will know your name. He said, you just need to find a group and get used to being on stage, get used to singing in front of people. And he said, and if you don't quit, you'll get here. And
that was encouraging, wasn't it? You needed that.
And so, and then I did. So I sang with that group for about 9 years or so.
Wow.
And then I got the phone call to come and fill in with Tribute. And I said, okay, as long as it's temporary. I said, I'll
watch those fill-ins, right?
I'll give you a few weekends, and we'll until you hire somebody. And then the next week they offered me the job, and the next week I took the job, And so I used to joke that I filled in with them for 10 years.
Yeah,
And
we've seen the tribute.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times. And I'm going to be at the Gospel Quartet convention this year.
Sure, yeah.
And they'll be there. I'm sure they will.
Oh,
So
they
how many years
absolutely
were you with the tribute?
10 years. I was with them
Wow.
for 10 years.
Wow.
I traveled with those guys full time, and I love it. If I think about me not standing on stage, I'll cry.
Okay, so what led into
but,
law enforcement
so
to go
law
back
enforcement-
into?
So,
to-
well, it's,
you
know,
said you were in it before you even were on the
correct. Yeah.
stage.
I actually,
At 19?
the first group that I traveled with was a part-time group. They were
Uh-huh.
a full amount of time, but they
Mm-hmm.
were a part-time group. And so I would work through the week, 10-hour shifts, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Wow.
I'd work 10 hours, get off 5 o'clock Friday morning, drive 3.5 hours to where they were, load the bus. I drove the bus, I ran sound, I sang. And
Forget
then,
sleep.
Yeah,
Forget sleep.
that was out the window. And so we'd do that Friday night, Saturday night, usually Sunday morning, and then Sunday night. And then from wherever we were, I would drive us back Sunday night, park the bus, take a nap, get up Monday morning, drive home 3.5 hours, shower, shave, put my uniform on, and start all over again.
You wouldn't want to do that now.
So
That's
no,
pretty-
absolutely not. I'm entirely too old. It's far too many miles.
So where are you a law officer at?
I work in Hawkins County, which is East Tennessee. I'm from West Tennessee. I lived in Middle Tennessee when I was with Tribute because they're based in Nashville, and now I've moved to East Tennessee. From here, I guess the only other place I can go is North Carolina or to the beach. I'm not sure. I just keep working my way east. To everything there is a season, and
That's
after
true. That
almost
is really good.
20 years of doing this on the road, a full amount of time, and then obviously the last 10 for full time. It was time for me to go home and sleep in my own bed.
That's right. I don't think people realize the sacrifices these groups make. We see them walk out on the stage in their nice clothes. They sing great. We buy I still call them albums, but CDs or whatever. But there's a sacrifice. I mean, to them, it's like we get to go home and sleep in our bed, and we take so much for granted. But they are sacrificing to get the gospel out. It's not just showbiz, it's really a ministry.
Oh, absolutely. There's two things that I'll say about that. Often, folks would ask, so we got vacation coming up. Yeah, we're about 3 weeks away from vacation. Where are you going on vacation? I'm going home.
Oh, wow. That
Well,
says a
don't you
lot.
want to go somewhere? No, I want to go home.
You've seen the world.
I've been there. I just got back from there. It's time to go home
Right.
and sleep in my
Well,
own
I
bed.
caught him when he was ready to put down some equipment, and I need to let him go right now because he's been so kind to travel just for a few days with the Perrys, and he's now ready to move on. And this is just something temporary he's doing to fill in to help the Perrys to do the sound. He's good enough to be up on the stage to do the bass, but they already have a bass singer. So I want to thank Anthony so much for coming on Moments with Jill Walker, and I hope his testimony is ministered to you. What I hear through his words is surrender. This man is surrendered. That's what I hear. He gave his heart to Jesus, but he's living a life of surrender. I hope it's ministered to you today. You've been watching Moments with Jill Walker. God bless you today.